Hello and welcome back to LTC Heroes Live by Experience Care. My name is Peter Murphy-Lewis. I'm your host. Today I'm at the Delaware Healthcare Association. We're at the convention in Wilmington, Delaware, and today I'm talking to Cheryl Heiks, the Executive Director of the association. Cheryl, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cheryl, I'm really excited to be here. First of all, thank you for the invitation for bringing LTC Heroes.
Welcome.
Tell me a little bit what was on the program today and what you were excited about to get all the members to come to town to.
Well, we haven't had a live event really since the beginning of the pandemic, so it was really nice to be able to have a live holiday event. We've had other trade shows, but this was our first holiday event since the pandemic, so we're very excited about that. And one of the things that's been most challenging about the pandemic for our facilities, for our residents and their families and everyone, has been kind of our staffing, crisis, our staffing shortage. So today's focus was really about finding a way to help improve, retain, recruit, recognize all of our staff, and rebound from that. I mean, the pandemic, somebody said earlier today in another meeting that I was at before this one started, that the pandemic was like a bomb went off in our industry, and it certainly was that, and it certainly had that impact on workforce. So we're all sort of crawling our way out of that, and today was really concentrated on that issue. So we were very excited to have that happen today.
Tell me a little bit about the direction of the association in the next year in terms of your goals. What are some of the advocacy items that your members have brought to you and say, hey, this committee needs to focus on this? What did you hear today that you all are going to focus on in the next year?
Well, since today was mostly about workforce, that was the issue that we've been concentrating on. But when it comes to advocacy, the Delaware Healthcare Facilities Association is sort of a catch-all. We take care of a number of different things. We've been representing the Long-Term Care Association in Delaware since 1968. So it's soup to nuts. I mean, workforce is certainly there. We work on reimbursement issues. We also deal around licensing, survey issues, regulatory issues, anything that comes across, or things we like to be able to do with, both from a proactive perspective and also anything that is coming to us where people have concerns with our industry. We are a small state, and again, I did not invent this. This came from someone else. Delaware is mated, dated, and related, so we all are connected to each other. There is no 6 degrees of separation in the state.
I have not heard that.
So we all are very connected, and so when something occurs, if there's a problem or if there's an issue, it's very easy to be able to reach out to legislators, reach out to each other, and try to find a solution, and that's a very good thing. So we try to take care of soup to nuts.
Cheryl, you've been in leadership for a long time. I'd like to know, what is it about working in long-term care that you enjoy? What is it about working with the members, the meetings, and the things that you are impacting that makes it unique about your position?
Well, it may feel like a long time, but it hasn't been that long. I've been doing it for about 3.5 years, but I've been a lobbyist and an advocate in Delaware for more than 20. And this is, I've finally found a perfect job, is what I can say. This has been a perfect job for me. I got into this field when I was advocating as a government relations professional for the association. And then at the same time, my mom was a resident in a facility. She was spending time in a facility and also at home on her own and at home with us. So I had that experience of being on the other side of the fence, somebody who was caring for someone who was in her 90s and also, a family member who was going in and out of buildings. So I think I bring that lens to this equation. So I think that's probably one of the things that's more important to my role. But having had that government relations experience, having also worked in state government, I think that is very helpful. Most of my expertise is around workforce development, regulations, healthcare. So I think that's also been helpful to the industry. I certainly hope it has. I was only on the job maybe about 6 or 7 months when the pandemic hit, which was quite an experience for all of our buildings, but mostly for those that are single units, single facilities that were not as well resourced with PPE. And I know that it was a traumatic experience for many people. I've never been through anything like that. They've never been through anything like that, and we never want to be in that position again. So, but it was. I've never seen a group of really heroes come work their what's off, exhaust themselves, live in the building, and work multiple shifts and take care of people. And sometimes they lost people. There was true grief and recovery. And I think there's still people that are still coming to the other end of that through this equation. But it is a strong group of people that are in this industry for a reason. And I'm proud to represent them.
That's great. What I want to follow up on that is the difficulty of going through COVID, and specifically being in a leadership position at a state organization. What's something you're really proud of that you all did in the last 2 or 3 years through this pandemic that you might not have got the press that you deserved? Maybe your members might not know. You and I both know that long-term care has taken a beating from national media. But what's something you're proud of if I asked you to take off your humble hat?
Well, it had very little to do with me. It had a lot to do with some of the people that were in the room today and others that are not here. But what was not recognized at the time was the fact that this industry did not have the supplies. They were not necessarily given the same priority that some of the first line centers. Now, I believe very strongly that hospitals and first responders and everyone else need all the resources that they possibly can. But this particular virus had our residents, in its sights. And unfortunately, that proved to be the case. I think all priorities should have been on them first, and they would have then avoided having to have, seeing a first responder or seeing a hospital official, because they would have maybe been safer if if all that effort had gone to us first. Unfortunately, it was the other way around. But we all learned the hard way. And I think the other issue that would be something that we can be very proud of is the amount of time that Delawareans, because we are a small state, and I mentioned we all know each other, they did come together once we, finally realized the heck was going on, and got communication going and communication flowing between all of our partners, and started doing regular calls. And we had regular calls with our state officials, folks in the county, public health, and we had some excellent results from that. And then I have to say one more thing about the vaccines. Another thing that the state was very helpful with, when the vaccines became available, they made it clear that individuals in long-term care could get certified to be able to give the vaccines themselves if you were a healthcare professional. They did that. We could get the vaccine shipped to our buildings if they had gone through that process. And so our staff can give vaccines, store vaccines, give them regularly, boosters as well. And it's one of the reasons why our rates have always been much higher than the national averages, and they continue to be that way.
I heard the exact same thing last night. I went out to dinner with your staff and also some of the program, and they were extremely proud of how fast they were able to pull out vaccine and tests across the state. So congrats on the work.
Our state offered testing to all of our staff and residents in June of 2020.
Yeah, that's impressive. The program, I want to thank you. The program you put together today was fast-moving, action-packed, and a lot of fun. You invited in a star from the show Survivor.
Holly.
Holly was a great talk. But you also have an amazing team behind you.
Thank you.
I also heard you have 2 4-foot critters that come to the office. Can you tell me their name and their role at your office?
Well, I don't usually bring 2 of them at the same time because that would be a little noisy, but I try to take turns bringing them. I have 2 Shetland sheepdogs, my husband and I do. One is Mulligan. He's the younger one. He's a blue merle Shetland sheepdog.
Does he play golf?
No, but he should. We thought Mulligan was a great name for a dog that we got during the pandemic. My husband is a golfer. And the one who does come to the office very often is Oliver. He's my shadow, I guess you could say. He looks more like a lassie, like a small version of a lassie. And Oliver just likes to hide under my desk, and he has a little blanket under there. And when I'm at the office quite a bit, very late at night, and it's dark when I go out, it feels very nice to have somebody who's there kind of accompanying me and there to kind of keep me company. And it gets me off out of the chair, moving around, walking around the outside of the building, getting a little exercise when I take them out for a walk. It gives me a chance to break away from that computer screen. So they're not only my companions, but also a little bit of encouraging little physical exercise. So we enjoy them, and they're a little bit of stress relief. So if you hear a bark every once in a while, that's why.
Yeah, and if you can hear the background, it's because people are winning prizes as we're wrapping up the convention. Yeah. Cheryl, thank you so much for having LTC Heroes come. Thanks for joining me on the program.
And you were a great hit, and I just want to recommend this to everybody, that what you had to say and what you taught them in just a very short amount of time. People were writing notes. I've had more and more people come up and say, "Oh, we need to have him come to our facility. I want him to talk to everybody." So I highly recommend your program, and thanks again for making the trip.
That's wonderful. Hopefully I'll get to meet Mulligan and Oliver one day.
Well, I'd love to have you meet them.
Talk to you soon.
They'll be happy to leave some hair on your pants. Don't worry about that. Thank you, guys.
I'm a dog lover. Bye-bye.